his wife. So we had a good long talk. Larry was talking about running for mayor in New Holland.
Oh, is that right?
That's what he said.
Oh, I didn't mind
He's
that.
gone to.
Yeah.
He did say he wouldn't mind having an administrative job that's over there in New Holland for the administrator or something. He said they paid $60,000 a year here as administrator in New Holland. I said, well, I don't know about that.
I can't imagine.
I couldn't imagine that, but that's what he said.
I could see 6,000 maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, that's probably more like it. 6,000, not 60,000, that's right, he said 60, and I said, well, I don't know about that. I said, I don't think their whole budget's 60,000. Now, 6,000 sounds more reasonable.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had a paid administrator, honestly.
Apparently, I guess they have somebody that
Yeah.
does it. I didn't know either.
Good evening, it's 7:30, November 13th, 2019. It's time to call the regular meeting of Washington Courthouse City Council to order. Excuse me, we'll begin with the invocation by Mr. Lynch, and Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Mr. Jennings. If you'll all stand, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just ask this evening that you continue to bless this city as you have in the past. More importantly, God, we just ask that you help us to find ways through our city council, through the decisions we make, and through this community to be a blessing to you. God, I pray all these things in the name of your Son. Amen.
Amen.
Could you please join me with a pledge to our flag? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Roll call, please.
Johnson,
Here.
Lynch,
Here.
Schultz,
Here.
Hawk,
Here.
Hernandez, Jennings,
Here.
Chrisman.
Here. Next on the, it's not on the agenda, but we'll go to Mr. Lynch, and I think he has a few young people here that he's familiar with.
I am familiar with them. I see them every morning. Well, some of them not every morning. We'll start in the back. I can tell you that the four sitting over here are juniors.
These guys in the back?
Well, I had those guys a few years ago.
I got you.
The four over here are juniors and the two over here are seniors. So Ryan, we'll start with you. Stand up and tell them who you are.
Oh, okay. I'm Ryan Barton. Is that all I have to say?
That's all I have to
I will tell you that Ryan is a very good member of the Blue Line football team. Okay, Emma.
I'm Emma Fineri.
I'm Ashlyn Tevino.
I'm Brittany Wilson.
Yes, and Ashlyn and Brittany are both good, but very good volleyball players. And now the two seniors.
I'm Shauna Conger.
And I'm Holly Wolf.
And as you can tell by their jackets, they're both really good athletes. That's the gang that's here tonight. Now, if you want to make the guys stand up and back and tell them.
He said before.
You can't remember what you did at school. Okay, welcome, students. Good to see you. You have to come back more often.
Don't count on that.
Well, a suggestion. Next, we'll move into the approval of minutes. Does anybody have any comments, changes, questions, anything on the minutes of the last regular meeting held October 23rd, 2019?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Johnson,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Jennings,
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Moving into the business session, first on the agenda, on this part of the agenda is communications. Mr. Denon, do you have any communications?
Yeah, Mr. Crispin provided a letter from Jim Blair. And it reads, "Good evening, future fellow council members. I wanted to deliver this letter in person, but my wife and I are having a little R&R recovering from the rigors of the campaign. Thanks to Council Chairman Jim Crispin for delivering this message. My first venture into politics has been an eye-opening experience. Sometimes learning to separate the wheat from the chaff can be challenging, but listening to our citizens' concerns has been very interesting and enlightening. I look forward to working with council members and the city manager beginning in January to make our city a shining example to our citizens and surrounding communities. While we may differ in our approach to supplying a solution to any problem facing our city, I believe each council member has the city's best interest in mind. I believe we can agree that all our citizens deserve to live in a prosperous, clean, safe, and welcoming community run by committed, open, and unbiased city government. I pledge to do my very best to represent the citizens of Washington Courthouse and work diligently with council members for the good of the people. Sincerely, Jim Blair.
Thank you, Mr. Denham. Next is report of council committees. We'll start with the Blue One Economic Strategies and Cooperation meeting. Ms. Hernandez.
The Economic Strategies and Cooperation Committee met in the lower level conference room of 105 North Main Street on Monday, October 21st, 2019 at 4 p.m. I presided, and those in attendance were Mr. Steve Schultz, council member, Mr. Steve Jennings, council member, Mr. Dale Lynch, council member, Mr. Jim Chrisman, council chairperson, Mrs. Chelsea Baker, economic development director, Mr. Mark Pistic, city attorney, Mr. Joseph Denon, city manager, and Mr. Jim Blair, citizen. Number one, the committee reviewed progress with the industrial development. The administration advised the committee that the manufacturing day tour for October 21st had been canceled due to a school delay, but advised that the tours for October 23rd and 29th were still scheduled as planned. The committee noted that both Washington Courthouse and Miami Trace schools would be attending. The committee noted that USA, Sugar Creek, Tony's Welding, WCR, Wingate Packaging, Written Industries, Domtar, and Red Collar Pet Food were among the industrial companies to be toured by the students. Number two, the committee reviewed progress with downtown buildings and businesses. The committee noted interest in several buildings and potential business purchases in the downtown area. Number three, the committee noted the success of the recent Shop Hop and Pumpkin Walk that were held the second week of October. The administration advised the committee of the upcoming Shop Hops that would be held on November 8th and Downtown Live Shop Hop on December 13th. Number four, the administration advised the committee that discussions concluded with the township concerning a joint economic development district. The committee recommended legislation be brought to council once an agreement was confirmed. Number five, the committee benefited from an update on the downtown mural. The committee noted that painting of the mural will begin in the spring of 2020. Number six, the administration advised the committee that a meeting was held with the Ohio Tech Hub for a makerspace. The committee noted the positive interest of diverse public and private entities. Number seven, the committee noted that small business spotlight continued. The committee noted that upcoming spotlight would highlight the service and restaurant sector of the community. Number eight, the committee noted a third meeting will be held with a potential company derived from a Buxton lead. The committee noted that the positive response with Buxton's guidance regarding business prospects for the community. Number nine, the committee recommended that the council meetings be changed from November 27th to Monday, November 25th, and from December 25th date to Monday, December 23rd. Respectfully submitted, myself and Ms. Kelly Ford, recording secretary.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
We'll move, we accept.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Jennings.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Next is the Finance and Personnel meeting. Mr. Jennings.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. Finance and Personnel Committee met in the lower level conference room 105 North Main Street on Monday, October 21, 2019, 5 p.m. I presided, and those in attendance were Dale Lynch, council member, Mr. Steve Schultz, council member, Mr. Jim Chrisman, council chairperson, Mr. Mark Pistic, city attorney, Mr. Joseph Denon, city manager, and Mr. Jim Blair, citizen. Number one, the committee benefited from a review of a statement of cash for the month ending in September. The committee noted that the last payment on the water bond would be made on November 1st, 2019. Mr. Riley advised that the committee that the city had received a small increase in local government. However, the committee noted that the prior reduction of local government funding in 2009. I might interject here from the minutes for just a moment, but it was 25 years ago, I believe, the city purchased city water company, that everybody gets their water, and that last payment was made, what, 10 week and a half ago, which was an amazing delight, frees up more money for future endeavors around the city, and it's quite a relief. Number 2, committee benefited from a review of the investments of City of Washington Courthouse. Mr. Riley advised the committee that the city continued to receive a good bond rating. Contributing factors to the bond rating being strong financials, a balanced budget, and low debt. Number 3, the committee benefited from an update of the wastewater treatment plant improvement project. The committee recommended that legislation be brought to council to enter into agreement with CTL Engineering Incorporated for the wastewater treatment plant material testing and spatial inspection services. Number 4, the committee recommended legislation be brought to council to enter into an agreement with CH2M Hill Engineers, which is now Jacobs Company, for the wastewater treatment plant engineering services. Number 5, the administration advised the committee of the current health insurance open enrollment. Number 6, administration advised the committee that the fire department was making excellent progress with training. And finally, number 7, the committee noted that the court actions concerning a member of council had been dismissed. Respectfully submitted by myself, Chairperson of Finance and Personnel, Mrs. Kelly Ford, Recording Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Jennings. Any questions, comments?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
And this was part of the other. I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Jennings.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. And last but not least, the Service, Safety, and Recreation Committee minutes. Mr. Hawk.
The Service, Safety, and Recreation Committee met in the lower level conference room located at 105 North Main Street on Monday, November 4th, 2019 at 4 p.m. Ted Hawk presided, and those in attendance were Ms. Kendra Hernandez, council member, Mr. Steve Schultz, council member, Mr. Dale Lynch, council member, Mr. Steve Jennings, council member, Mr. Ron Sockman, service director, Mr. Tim Downing, fire chief, Mr. Mark Pitstick, city attorney, Mr. Joe Denon, city manager. Number 1, the committee benefited from a general report of the Washington Police Department and Washington Fire Department. Number 2, the committee benefited from an update regarding Chief Hottingman. Number 3, the committee benefited from a review of service department projects. Specifically, the committee benefited from a review of the Washington Avenue project. The committee noted that paving would be completed by mid-November. Number 4, the committee noted the progress of the State Route 41 paving project. Number 5, the administration advised the committee that water main breaks that had occurred on Paint Street and at Pearl Street. Number 6, the committee noted that administration would be taking applications for 2 open positions for the street department. Respectfully submitted, Ted Hawk, Chairperson, Service, Safety, and Recreation Committee, Mrs. Kelly Ford, Recording Secretary.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this one?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from November 4th.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Jennings.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Reports of city officials. Mr. Denon, city manager.
Thank you. Would like to thank all the candidates that stood for election, the folks that stood for election to city council, school board, and the various township offices that you had on this last ballot. Would also like to extend, if I can talk tonight, extend thanks to the many volunteers that worked on the school levy issue. It's a tremendous amount of work and effort that those folks put in. In particular, I wanted to note an election is always a tremendous amount of work for the Fayette County Board of Elections, and they have always done an excellent job with that. And along with that, the poll workers that help out with those elections. You know, they really make that possible, and it's a very long day for them. And they always have done here in Washington Courthouse, Ohio, an excellent job. Would like to express congratulations to Mr. Blair, Mr. Chrisman, and Kendra on their election to City Council. Washington Avenue, we've done paving work out there. Would like to thank the residents for their cooperation. We will continue to make progress with that project. Hopefully before Thanksgiving, we will have reached substantial completion. And then you'll just have some remaining issues to clean up out there and move along with. But really, the Washington Avenue folks have been extremely understanding, and we really appreciate how cooperative they've been with the inconvenience. Wastewater treatment plant project, we've already started some preliminary work out there and some demolition work. We will have space challenges with that project, believe it or not. You have a fair amount of construction, and you don't have, in a lot of respects, you don't think about it this way, but all the space in the world to coordinate all that. But that has been working out well, and we hope to be able to deal with that successfully, and been very pleased with that. And in particular, I would like to thank the excellent support and help that we've received from the employees, our employees at the wastewater treatment plant. That improvement project, in the long run, they're very excited about that, but that's actually a tremendous amount of work for them also, because you'll have the challenge of that wastewater treatment plant has to continue to operate while we do that work down there, which is not the easiest thing in the world to deal with, and it will certainly make operation of the plant quite frequently more complicated than it normally is. But for, I mean, obvious reasons, you can't shut it off. So you have to be able to do all that work, all that reconstruction work, while that plant continues to operate and do the job that it's supposed to. Unfortunately, I got to talk to you about salt, which usually we had this conversation later in the year because it usually hasn't snowed yet. We have at least 1,000 tons in storage right now, which is quite a bit. So you're in very good shape there. You've got about 800 tons on order, so salt for this winter, you're in very good shape. We did use a little bit recently, which is just a shame because usually you're not dealing with this weather till a little bit later in the year. But you're in very good shape there. We did have a substantial water main break at Carolyn and Willard Monday evening, which is a little bit unusual. That's a little bit early also. But the water distribution crew did an excellent job, and that's always, doing that type of work in the evening is always inconvenient, but as you get into winter, that can become fairly miserable work because you're out there, it's cold. For whatever reason, there's a law that says 9 out of 10 water main breaks occur in the middle of the night. So it's cold, you're wet, and it can be very unpleasant. The last item number F, we will be advertising for a number of positions. Have we shuffled some folks around in service? And some folks have gone on to other employment with other entities. So we will be advertising in street and some other departments related with service, so folks need to look out for that. That basically concludes my report this evening. I did have a conversation with Mr. Miller. Where did he go? Oh. Earlier in the evening about a property that Mr. Pitstick will be taking, actually has a court date scheduled with for a nuisance abatement issue. You have a court date next week, Mr.?
I believe it's next
Okay.
week, yes.
And I'll make contact with Mr. Miller towards the end of next week about to report to him about what has gone on with that. But there's a nuisance property that we will be pursuing that we pursued in the past. That's my report. We got any questions?
How many tons of salt did we use last year?
Oh, last year was a bit more than usual, as I recall.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it was about 1,200.
About 12, yeah, that's about
And
right.
so we have 1,000 tons and 800, so that would get us through this winter. If we have the same winter last year, or a little bit worse, we'll have plenty of salt.
You should.
Yeah, we have an agreement with ODOT too locally that if we run into problems, we can get some of them. Plus, we're allowed to have 20% over that total, so. we
Okay,
can just bump
fantastic.
At 800 if we need to.
Yeah,
Yeah, we bought salt in that cooperative program with ODOT for several years now.
good. Yeah,
At
'cause
least 4 or 5, I can't remember, it's been long enough, I can't remember when we bought it on our own.
I just thought about it because you said, thinking about the winter starting early this year, so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does ODOT's contract have priority over some other entities in Ohio? The reason I'm asking is Salt Salesman was in today to my place, and Morton shut their place down in Louisiana for some repair. And they're not back up running totally yet. And a supplier up north was on strike for quite a while, and they're barely moving. So if it's a bad winter and they don't get going, it might get short.
I do not know if it has priority over the other
Of
suppliers.
course, that just may be a reason to raise the price too. Oh, heaven forbid they wouldn't do that.
Yeah. I don't, if you sell salt, the reasons that the price of salt go up are amazing to me.
Okay, anybody else have any questions for Mr. Denton?
The students have requested me to ask Mr. Denon that you not put down salt, so the roads will be slippery. They'll get to school. They won't have to go to school.
Unfortunately, we gotta go out there and salt.
Oh, I tried.
He gave it a shot.
So we have anything else for Mr. Denton? Or moving on, Director of Finance, Mr. Riley.
I have no report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Pitstick, City Attorney.
I have no report.
Thank you. Next is local residents and taxpayers. Seeing none have signed up, we'll move on. The next page, legislation previously introduced. Item A is resolution number R51, 2019, second reading.
I move that we place resolution number R51, 2019 on the second reading.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Jennings.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes.
Resolution number R51 2019, a resolution authorizing Joseph J. Denon, City Manager of the City of Washington Courthouse, or his designee, to enter into an agreement with CH2M Hill Engineers Incorporated for improvements to the wastewater treatment plant.
I move for adoption. Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Jennings.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Item B, resolution number R52, 2019, second reading.
I move that we place resolution number R52, 2019 on second reading.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Jennings.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes.
Resolution number R52 2019, a resolution authorizing Joseph J. Denon, City Manager of the City of Washington Courthouse, or his designee, to enter into an agreement with CTL Engineering Incorporated for material testing and inspection services to the wastewater treatment plant.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Jennings.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. That was quick. New legislation in writing, there is none, so we'll pass on to miscellaneous. I forget which end I started on. I think I started on Steve last time. Start with Ms. Hernandez this time.
Okay. Thank everyone who came down last Friday. It was wonderful. Good turnout, lots of fun. So our next event is gonna be December 13th, and I think I've said this to you guys before, you don't wanna miss it. We have the high school, some of the high school students will be participating, both Washington and Trace. We have, every window will be alive, meaning there'll be a live mannequin in the window. We have carolers from local organizations caroling. We have the super fun band that we've had in the past that are crazy and they run around and play. And I'm assuming that merchants will have lots of good deals because it'll be close to Christmas. So it's kind of what small town's all about. You see your neighbors, you see your family, you see your friends, and everybody's happy. And usually it'll be cold, but that's okay. Bundle up. It makes it all more more fun. So mark that on your calendars, December 13th, 5 to 9 p.m. And I think that's all I have, which is
Thank you.
unusual.
Thank you. Ted, you can buy some flowers, they're gonna be on sale.
Ted doesn't know what flower, he's purchased one.
He purchased one. One flower.
And his wife loved it, and you know what he said? They'll last forever, that's all she needs. Right, Ted?
Yeah.
You're up, Mr.
Oh.
Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, Mr. Miller, thank you for coming. I'm glad that Joe and Mark are so promptly taking care of it. So very good to hear that. Also, thank you to the students who come out. Mr. Lynch gets the privilege of talking to you all the time about how, all the various workings of government, and I'm sure that he tells you all to get involved, and it's always a good thing. I think last time I spoke a little bit more about how important young people are to, especially small towns. Y'all can make a difference. So if you want to make a difference, is that something that you want to do? If you want to sort of leave your impact on a city, a small place like this is a lot easier to do it on than a place like Columbus or some big city where you might just be a number. So I always like when young people get involved in government. So anyway, that's really great. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lynch.
Well, I noted in the minutes that it said last time that I explained things in length. Which is true. So tonight, I have a quote. Silence is not only golden, it is seldom misquoted.
See what your students missed last week.
It's funny.
That's all there is.
Mr. Hawk.
Well, I don't have anything important to say. Other than if the students think they can get out of school, we can commandeer the local stores and buy up all their kitty litter and spread on the streets. So they don't have to-
God, that kitty litter. What are you gonna do with the cats that are out there?
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Schultz.
Yes, I want to invite everybody downtown for that Christmas Live too on December the 13th that Kendra was talking about. I'll tell you, it's really something. There was a lot of people downtown last year walking around. Like you said, it was cold, little snow flurries, but it was fantastic. So make sure you make time to come downtown on December the 13th. And I want to congratulate all the candidates, Kendra Hernandez, Jim Chrisman, and Mr. Jim Blair for their campaigns and for winning their campaigns. So I want to congratulate all of them. I want to say thank you to the service department. I raked up all my leaves and my neighbors on Sunday, and today they come by and picked them all up, even though they had snow all over them. So thank you very much. So that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jennings.
In keeping with silence is golden, I have nothing further. Thank you.
Must be a ball game or something one night. Everybody's
Must be a ball game.
I'll just say one thing.
Oh,
Sorry.
I suppose. Go ahead.
I just want to thank all the veterans. I should have said something
Yeah,
about that
that's
in
a
my
good point.
But what they've done for us is just, you can't put any value on it. And I watched some of the shows that were on the TV and so on, and I have members of my family in, and I appreciate all that's been done and all the sacrifices. So that's it.
Well said. Thank you,
Second.
Ted.
Good point.
I will agree with Ted. We'd like to thank the veterans. Also, I'll congratulate Ms. Hernandez and Mr. Blair. And of course, thank everybody that allowed us to put signs out and supported us. Thanks for the students for coming. Good to see you. Like I said, come back. Thanks for the 4 gentlemen in the back. And can't forget Harry. Got to thank him too. Oh, he woke up. Doggone it. I'll wake you up here.
He heard his name.
Okay, I don't have much of anything else. Thank you all. Let's ask for an adjournment, please.
So moved. I'll second.
There you go.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Lynch. Schultz.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Jennings.
Yes.
Crispin.
Yes.
Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it.
29 minutes.
That's fantastic. He said it was close.
Good thing they don't get their points per minute.
See you, gang.
Mark, are we changing anything?
Nice thing about short meeting, your car doesn't get a chance to.
Not totally, not totally.
You're right, 1994,
Well-
City of Washington Courthouse.
Did they shut the TV off yet?
1994, City of Washington Courthouse purchased the water service, water plant.
Not yet.
Private entity. And on November 1st, just recently, about 10, 11, 12, 13 days ago, we made the final payment on the 25-year loan to obtain that. And that amount was